Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark podcast, where we do some videos, where we do a roundup of what Steve has found in the media when he does his weekly trawl to see what morsels he can get up and we can digest between us. So, over to Steve.
Hi, people. Once again, it's only one topic per podcast this time. So here we go. The United States has found itself in a bit of a dilemma because it has invested so much money to Ukraine. You know, some say it's 140 billion, some say it's 100 billion, some say it's a little less than that. But anyway, it's a big chunk of change. So on Saturday, this past Saturday, on the 2nd, there was a neo-Nazi rally in Florida. And there's about 50 participants in this rally. And the sort of porte-voix, the speaker, this guy called Chris Pollhouse, he spent a lot of the time shouting, you know, we're against all the Jews. He even tried to ridicule a woman journalist there because she's Jewish, and he said she should go back to Israel and all this, you know. But he let slip something which was really, really damaging for the government. He said that he supports Joe Biden and sending money to Ukraine, the fight against Russia. Now, to have a neo-Nazi on your side supporting you whilst you're sending the money, they tried to make it that they were, you know, outright, and you know, there were extremists and all the clothes were new. They had a new uniform, you know, brown slacks and a white t-shirt and pumps and training shoes, which were all new, and the flags were new. You know, it's really really new, you know. And there was one guy that I saw a comment on Twitter, which I saw about this, and it said, "Lol, paid actors and feds can't stop laughing at their brand new clean uniforms, flags, and hoodies." That was posted by a guy called Cat Turd. Right? And do you know, you're a film buff. You like watching films and series and all this.
Yeah.
You know when an actor is not playing the right role for him.
Yes.
Is out of place.
Yeah.
You know, and this Chris Pollhouse, exactly that. He's trying to use the slang, you know, but his voice, it just didn't. He just wasn't carrying it. You know, he just, you know, it's not that he's trying to act like he's from the hood, when really he's from some really upper middle class place. You know.
Yes.
And he looked a bit very out of place for what he was doing.
Yes.
And he even broke character because he was trying to be the angry young man. You know, he was trying to be the angry young man.
Yeah, very difficult to carry on.
Part way through, he smiled and he laughed. You know, as if to say, "What am I doing here? You know, I'm to get my money."
Yeah. Well,
And in the background, when you mentioned that Biden sending money to Ukraine, there was a guy with tattoos all over his face, his face. You couldn't see his face; it was just tattoos. And he was shouting in Ukrainian.
Right.
You know, it's something like, "Yeah, support Ukraine" and all this. You know, his nickname is Boneface.
Sounds very regular.
Boneface McKellen.
Yeah.
McKellen is his surname. and he actually fought in the Ukraine
Mm.
with the Azov battalion,
Oh, yeah. Yes.
right, out at the side of the Azov battalion.
Yeah.
And these two guys, Chris Polhaus and this McKellen, both of them have got phone for domestic terrorism. So being naughty boys,
Mm.
you know, on American soil
Yeah.
against the status quo,
Yeah.
you know, and they get put on the terrorist watch.
Well, of course, yeah.
So why does Cat Turd, the guy who put the Twitter
Mm.
message up, think that the feds or that they're actors? Well, it's simply because this bone-faced McKellen,
Mm.
if he's a domestic terrorist, he wouldn't be able to get a flight out of the US
Mm.
to go to Ukraine.
Mm.
Somebody had to be sponsoring him.
Well, by the sounds of it, somebody's sponsoring the whole thing. If it's,
Right. Well,
sorry.
you know, so this guy who's he's both of them. This boneface is not even allowed to fly domestically. Never mind internationally.
Mm.
You know, and so that was, for me. It was funny because they tried to pull this off and it just didn't work. The audience wasn't buying it. You know, it
Mm.
looked like a very very bad uh,
Yeah.
soap opera. You know, very bad soap opera.
Yeah.
People were
I
just weren't buying it. And even like I said, even Chris Paulhouse, he broke character. He smiled and he laughed, as if
well,
to think, as if to say, "What am I doing here?" But
yeah.
right, over to you.
Well,
Your
now,
response to it.
I mean, yes, it wouldn't be the first time that there's been staged gatherings. Let's put it that way. If it is that, either that or these people are just opportunists who maybe not too certain which way they're going, but making a name for themselves. Um, yes, yes. I seem to remember there was another president some years ago who was always accused of attracting extremists on one side, which, yeah, okay, if you are a leader, you can't be held responsible for maybe people you do attract. It goes with the territory of politics, always has done. Yeah, people will identify whomever they believe will be the best person for them at that second. We're not even talking long term here. Um, yeah, I mean, when we're talking about that region of the world, we've said before, um, you're talking about a very strange mentality sometimes. Some I've got to be careful where I go with this. Yeah, but it is a very troubled part of the world. Has been for, well, since the end, since World War Two.
But
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt, but in this story, we're talking about Americans on
yeah,
American
I
soil,
know what you're saying, but I'm going with this here. If you're talking
right?
about, there's this character of Ukraine and who has
No,
sympathy with the
he's
Ukraine.
American.
He's
He's
American,
American.
but the
He's
fact,
American. He
yeah,
went across to Ukraine to fight.
yeah. So he's picked up something to that. So yeah, no, sorry, I understood him as being, yeah, a Ukrainian who just happened to be in America, or
No.
whatever citizenship. Um, yeah, your normal sort of hard-headed thug with the tattoos. Yeah, tattooed beast. Yeah,
They were so stereotyped.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So, so that it's obvious. I mean, maybe the actor deliberately broke character so he wouldn't be accused in the future. It wouldn't be held against him. I mean, who knows? It does sound a very, very strange thing, and to allow an event like that, given what happened a couple of years ago in January, or even before that, to allow an event like that to take place, which you can't just suddenly appear and decide you're going to have a rally. You have to say who you are, what you're going to be doing, and it's always been the same in America. You just couldn't have an impromptu appearance and say, yeah, we are this group or we're that group. Even with freedom of speech, you couldn't do it in England. You can't do it. You can't do it in America, US. I mean, yes, the US do have some extreme people with extreme views. We know that, and they hold it as part of their First Amendment to have that.
As far as I know, Nazi signals and Nazi regalia
Mm.
is outlawed. It's illegal.
Um,
Uh, I know it is in the UK, and I think it is in the US as well.
I don't think it's actually illegal in the UK. It's just frowned upon. You can go to a fancy dress party dressed as a just as a Nazi if you want. It's not very good taste to do it, and
No.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to bring it up when it was done some years ago, um, but yeah, as far as I know, it's not. It's not even illegal to do a salute or anything. In Germany, yes, it is for very good reason. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the UK, no, I don't believe it is. I'd have to check this, and maybe
Mhm.
somebody can tell me what the precise law is in the comments below if you know. Um, I don't think it's illegal in the US. Again, it's probably very much frowned upon. Um, if somebody wants to be, let's put it that way, an idiot, they're within their entitled rights to be an idiot. If you go around spouting off about genocide, I think anywhere in the world, most places in the world, that would be very much unacceptable. Very
They gave the female reporter
yeah.
a rough time.
Well,
They
uh,
gave her a rough time.
well, I mean, if they're
And
threatening to if they're threatening to kill her, okay, that's wrong. If they're just being hostile to her with
just hostile
non-specific
and
threats,
rude.
yeah, yeah,
Hostile and rude.
yeah, then okay, there could be some degree of racism involved, but it could be so subtle that she'd know it, they'd know it, but it was probably within the law. These people are actually quite clever the way they operate sometimes.
There's nothing subtle about that. And
Well,
the interesting thing is that there were no police around
again,
during all of this. You got a gathering of around 50 people,
no, that's a big gathering.
all
Yeah,
screaming "Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil," and not one policeman to be found. As far as I know, as far as I know.
yeah, it might be they were doing discreet policing. They do it from a distance. If something
Mm.
happened, you'd probably end up with 50 police officers arriving within a minute, 2 minutes. Don't forget they park side streets and things. I don't know the layout. Um,
Mm.
it's non. It was it's called discreet policing. There might be one or two police there just watching it. They don't want to be provocative. It depends. Don't forget, the police is actually not done from a federal level. It's done from a local level. This is what's happening in the US. You're getting local police officers not agreeing with what's happening. Yeah,
When the word comes from the top down,
yeah.
the tendency is to
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I
is
mean,
to
I mean, a clever police commissioner would say, "I've been told, can we not be obvious?" Would be probably the word that would go out. Yeah, but yeah, make sure your magazines are full and make sure you've got good tear gas with you. Um, I don't know. I don't know what's legal, not legal in the US. I know probably how it would be played in the UK. Um, not that I'd want to organise anything like this, but yeah, it's a very interesting thing. And yes, I do agree with you. It all sounds extremely suspicious, to put it bluntly.
well for sure the US has got a dilemma on its hands
Yeah,
because I know that Biden he's asked for another 40 billion to go to Ukraine
yeah,
to help in the war effort, even though in the Ukraine the security minister
yeah.
has has been fired
Oh, yeah, I've heard
because of
that.
corruption, a day or two ago,
Well, that's a
and
yeah.
they've put another one in his place.
Yeah, I wonder how long. Yeah,
But this is this is what you get with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
yeah.
She says she doesn't want any more money to go to Ukraine
No.
until it's all been audited to find out where it's all been going.
Well, that isn't going to happen, is it? Let's put it bluntly, or from what I can tell, what I'm reading it. Yeah,
Yeah,
happy days. They'll
yeah.
happily let somewhere in the US burn. Now, I don't know again the full story of what happened in Hawaii. Um, very very strange, and why how's this becoming an American problem? Um, yeah, it's um, yeah okay. I mean, it's I mean there does seem to be a move against it amongst normal uh, American voters and taxpayers. They don't want their money disappearing into Europe. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It it's not when they're facing a cost of living and everything else. Um, I mean, okay, Putin's not a nice man. We've covered that to death. Zelensky is no angel. I mean, he's a
Nobody
clown.
is. No, nobody is. No,
Yeah.
but no.
I mean, he is a clown because that was his
Mm.
job. That was his original job, playing the piano, apparently.